Welcome to Clocking In, Voices of NC Manufacturing. I'm your host, Phil Mintz, Director of the North Carolina Manufacturing Extension Partnership, otherwise known as NCMEP. My role is to drive outreach to NC manufacturers, build relationships to federal and state leaders, and coordinate efforts to drive profitable manufacturing growth in North Carolina. Throughout my time working closely with manufacturers, I have heard the most quirky, curious, and memorable stories. I wanted to turn these stories into a podcast so that others may hear and be informed and inspired. From humble beginnings to manufacturing titans, from tragedy to triumph, I will be interviewing some of these manufacturers who have made North Carolina manufacturing the powerhouse that it is today. Okay, so we're here at mfgCON 2019, having an opportunity to talk with a few of our NCMEP partners, and we're fortunate to have right now John Loyack, who is the Vice President of Global Business Services at the Economic Development Partnership of North Carolina. That's a mouthful, but he's got a big job and he does great at it. How you doing today, John?
I'm doing well, Phil. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah.
We were one of the first partners to help you get the mfgCON off the ground, and we enjoy coming out here every year.
Yeah. So just tell us a little bit about the role of EDPNC and how you support manufacturers in general.
Sure. So the Economic Development Partnership of North Carolina is focused on a number of different areas. We're the ones who are, along with the North Carolina Department of Commerce, promoting the growth of the economy in a variety of ways. That could be everything from promoting North Carolina as a place to spend your vacation, promoting North Carolina as a place to locate a business, a new investment coming into the state from outside. But what is often overlooked are all the things that we do for existing industry, including supporting of manufacturers here in our state. And so the teams that I manage are focused on everything from existing industry support, supporting manufacturers in all 100 counties of North Carolina, an international trade team that's helping North Carolina companies understand how to sell their products internationally. And we also have a small business counseling team who help businesses understand regulations, how to get a business started up, how to make sure they're paying taxes properly, and that sort of thing.
Yeah, so it's always new and exciting when there's an announcement for a new business to come in. You know, what type of businesses do you see looking to make changes right now?
You know, it's been interesting because North Carolina has a wonderful collection of what I call heritage industries that have created jobs here and helped build the economy for years. That would be everything from textiles to agriculture to furniture. Those industries are still here. We've certainly lost a lot of jobs in those areas, but they're still growing in different ways. And so we see some amazing businesses like a company like Unify, who's creating new artificial threads and for the garment industry, and companies like North Face and others are using their products. But we're also seeing and we continue to see growth of new industries here in the state. And so what a lot of people don't know is the aviation industry and companies that supply that industry continue to grow here. Automotive, we don't have a major automotive manufacturer, but we have a lot of parts suppliers here in the state. Pharmaceuticals, life sciences are an industry that folks know is growing. I mean, if you live anywhere in this state, you've got a major life science company somewhere in the area. And then, of course, the IT industry. 60 years ago, the Research Triangle Park grew because we had IT companies coming here from all over the country. Companies like IBM, who were some of our major tenants there, they continue to grow, and we see IT continue to grow as well.
So I know we put a lot of energy, looking for that big automobile manufacturing plant in some ways, but is it better maybe to be diversified like we are, to support a lot of industries? Could that make us a little more attractive? Or
You're absolutely right. When we look, one of the things that we do to kind of track the economic health of the state is our exports. And as I look at other states, I'll use South Carolina as an example. They do about the same number of exports, just over 32 billion or so, like the state of North Carolina. But literally 60 to 70% of their exports are all locked up in the automotive and aviation industries. North Carolina's got a very diverse portfolio. And so if we see any kind of a downturn in one of those industries or the international buyers stop buying, those industries are going to be impacted heavily, and we're in a much better position by having that diverse portfolio.
Yeah. So I know at once upon a time there was a wave of kind of companies from overseas that was transplanting factories here in the state and other places. With the trade issues and nationalism and things like that, do we still see companies wanting to put plants here? Or what are you hearing around that?
Initially, we did. At the beginning of the new administration in D.C., there was a huge emphasis on manufacturing in the U.S. And so through some of the work done out of Washington, D.C., we did see a huge uptick in foreign direct investment interest. And those are the kind of things that the EDPNC participates in events year-round. Having said that, in the last 8 months or so, things have slowed down significantly. So as maybe 2 years ago, we were seeing 1 out of every 3 projects had some level of foreign direct investment tied to it. Today, it's about 1 out of every 4.
Yeah. I know we talked about it some, but I don't think people realize just how much effort is put with activity overseas. I mean, you have people all over the globe, don't you, that help our companies with the export business.
We do, and it continues to grow, and because people recognize that, number one, 95% of the world's population lives outside the U.S., and so if you're not paying attention to that population, you could be ignoring 95% of your total market. That is a message that small hotels who depend on visitors coming in, could be international visitors in Western North Carolina or on the coast. They need those international tourists to come in. As we try to attract international investment, a big part of what we do is coming in from international markets. But one of the things North Carolina has always really been a leader in is its focus on international trade and our presence abroad. And so today we have a number of international offices in places like Hong Kong and Toronto, Canada, Mexico City, Mexico. But one that has really begun to take off in the last few years is the United Arab Emirates. And about a year ago, we opened up an office in Dubai. And that is a market that North Carolina manufacturers cannot get enough of these days.
Wow. And so you guys sponsor and administer a series of trade missions and things like that. Where do you go?
We do. Well, one program that we actually did through the North Carolina MEP program took a group of furniture manufacturers and anyone involved in kind of home furnishings and folks in the textile industry, the furniture industry, anyone working in hospitality. They went over to Dubai to sell to that market. We've done an event there for about the last 2, almost 3 years, where we take North Carolina manufacturers over there and let them see that market firsthand. Let them understand how people buy product over there. Make partnerships with folks. It'd be very easy to do with the internet. It'd be very easy to pick up some of these international clients just over email and over the phone. But you don't really get to know those people until you sit down with them, break bread with them, and learn to do business with them. And so our goal is to take folks into these markets and let them see that firsthand.
Yeah, so whenever you're engaging in some of these companies that are looking to make a change or move to the state, are you seeing any difference in the types of factories they're looking to set up? Is it more automated, or what are they telling you about what the infrastructure they're looking at putting here?
There's definitely a level of automation that will be involved, but they also know that we've got quality workforce, and that is one of the things that's really a major determining factor. If you're a European-based business, it would be easy to come over to Canada, to Mexico, or the U.S. But when you look at a place like North Carolina, with our taxes where they are, our corporate taxes that is, with the ease of doing business here, with the climate that we have, but most importantly, with the quality workforce that we have, it's hard to ignore a place like North Carolina.
Yeah, that sounds great. Well, we're pleased that you're a partner with NCMEP, and we continue to look forward to growing that partnership. You guys do a great job, and you're great advocates for the program and manufacturers across the state. So thank you for sitting down with us a few minutes, John.
No, my pleasure. Thank you, Phil.
Okay, great. Thank you for joining today's Clocking In, Voices of NC Manufacturing. This podcast is brought to you by NC State's College of Engineering, the North Carolina Manufacturing Extension Partnership, and Industry Expansion Solutions. If you'd like to learn more about the solutions NCMEP offers, go to www.ncmep.org. Want to listen to previous Clocking In podcasts? Go to ncmep.org/clockingin.